The growth engine of SME banking, the first thing to consider, understanding the entrepreneur. You never really lend to a business. So if you are lending money, you are not lending to the business. You are lending to the person deciding whether that business survives. Why the person matters more than the file. The credit file gives you numbers, the meeting gives you the story. So when you receive a file from your credit customer, you have access to information that is concerning the business turnover, assets, years in operations, and repayment history. But when you meet the person, you analyze, you vet, and you see the experience, you understand his experience, you verify his resilience and judgment and purposes. That gives you a great eye-opener about as to whether when the real questions come, he can do the job right. Can this owner execute the plan when the business gets tested? You need to know before you move a single inch. The room challenge. Would you lend? Don't. Would you lend? Comfort has modest revenue, thin margins, and no fixed premises. What would you do first? We have options A and B here. Option A suggests that you decline, the numbers are weak. Section B depicts, sit down and understand the owner. Understanding the person first. Her hotel experience, standing corporate orders, and equipment constraint changed the credit story. What this is saying is that you don't decline based on just the numbers. You don't decline and you don't approve based on only the numbers. You take decisions based on the person's character, the person right in front of you. Sit down and understand the owner first. Once you have understood the person, you will know what he is capable of doing and how the business is doing. You all will make meaning to you. The 40-minute meeting that saves hours. If you make it a point to call on your clients and be paying visits to know them better, you will turn the first meeting, you will be able to turn meeting into a conversation, not an interview. So, how did the business start? What almost made you quit? What does a good week look like? What does a bad week look like? What is the one thing stopping growth today? The key idea here is to let you know that you have to ask better questions. If you know the inceptions of the company and the challenges that has made the owner felt like quitting, and what does a good week look like, and what does the bad week look like? What is the one thing stopping growth? Will let you see opportunities, see strengths, weaknesses, and opportunity at a glance, at one visit. Vision, hope, or a plan. Listen for specificity, vague, and specific. When vision and hope or plan is vague, it leads to nowhere. So what are we saying? When you visit a client, these are the things to look for. Bigger, more customers, better business. Hope is not a plan. Specific, second location after a target volume. Wholesale after supply terms improve. machine production after demand justifies cost. So what to look for is vague. Vague goes bigger, more, and better, similarly to everything. Hope is not a plan. But hoping and looking for things to get bigger or more customers doesn't necessitate whether you have the capacity to meet their needs or help them. Therefore, to be specific is golden than to be vague. Being vague will deplete your focus and destroy your goal even before you start. Let's take it from there. Management capability test. Ask the owner 3 questions. Which answer tells you the most? I know roughly. My accountant has it. B. Last month was X. My top 3 customers are YZW. Specific questions answer show active management. Also ask what happens if the biggest customer leaves. So between option A and option B takes it because it was specific. It did not just give rough answer, an open answer that will not be precise. Option B is specific and leads to whoever is or whatever is being referred to. Past mistakes reveal future behavior. The best answer is not. I never make mistakes. Good signal names the mistakes, explains the cause, and shows what changed. This is what you must expect when you visit your client. Good signal is he will name the mistakes that you don't know, he will explain the cause fairly and shows you what changed. And the warning signals there is blames everyone else. No lessons learned and no change in behavior. So one more test is if the owner is away for a week, who runs what? This would tell you management is really managing and things are in place and everybody knows what to do even if the manager is not there. Trust is a credit asset. Say what you can promise, don't do exactly that. Be precise about timelines. This is for us, the relationship managers. Trust is a credit asset. So say what you can promise, don't do exactly that. Be precise about timelines. Never promise approval you do not control. Call when you said you would, even when the answer is not yet. Visit the actual business when possible. Keep trust alive after the first loan. These are the top secrets that make a relationship manager a go-to person, a trustworthy person, a dependable partner in business growth. Rewrite the credit conversation. This is a field exercise. A hardware retailer scenario and a mission. A hardware retailer needs working capital before the rainy season. Your first instinct is to collect documents. Instead, spend the first 5 minutes understanding the business. What this explains is that in a scenario where a hardware retailer needs working capital before the rainy season, your first instinct is to collect documents. But instead of that, rather go spend some few minutes with the customers to understand how his business operates. So your mission in that was is ask 5 key questions that reveal experience, customers, cash cycle, risk, and execution ability. Because In the end, if all is well, facilities are given or approved, and the experience is not there, it will not be managed well. The customers will still suffer and may not even get the reason why the funding is provided, and cash cycles will run inappropriately, leading to high risk that will jeopardize repayment in the future, and this will lead to shortage or cut in execution. So ability to execute will be cut short. That is one thing to avoid. That is one thing to look out for. So take note. So the bankers takeaway: numbers tell you what happened. Understanding the entrepreneur helps you judge what happens next. So the growth engine here is that start every new relationship here. Understand the owner, understand the business, structure the right facility, build trust, and grow the relationship. So the bankers take away, the relationship take away, the branch managers take away is to remember that numbers tell you what happened. Understanding the entrepreneur helps you judge what happens next. So if that is the case, the growth engine here is that you start every new relationship here, understand the owner perfectly, then you try to understand the business perfectly, then you try to structure the right facility for the business, and then build trust that grows the relationship day after day. Thank you so much. See you on the next one.